No, I'm not wearing my fedora. Well, hello there. Old Man Kelly here. Jeff to my friends, and you know you can call me Jeff. So, giving up the hat, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But I also want to explain where I've been for the last month and a half. If you've been on my YouTube channel, you'll see a video called The Elgin Dead. And that's a film I've been working on for a while now. Sort of. And for the last 3 weeks, that's taken up the bulk of my time. That and some work projects really have had me with no extra time. I even missed my podcast 2 weeks ago. And I never missed my podcast, and that was upsetting. But too many things going on. And so The Elgin Dead, it was completed. It was shown during the Halloween festival called The Nightmare on Chicago Street in Elgin. I think it went over pretty well. I know all the actors involved were very happy. As writer and director of the film, of course, I'm not happy. You know, when you write, I don't know if you've ever written before, but you always have grand visions of the way things are going to turn out in your head, and they never turn out that way, never. Well, I shouldn't say never. Certain scenes sometimes come out better than you had thought, but never what you envisioned in your head. So we got a late start. We only had 2 weekends to film it. It's a 24-minute film. And we had to film it all in 2 weekends, and there was a lot of locations, outdoors, quite a few actors, and it was a challenge. If you've ever tried to do a production like this, you know 4 days is not a lot of time, especially when you take into account I really don't have a large crew. In fact, there were some days when I was the crew, one day actually. There were other days where we had a bunch of wonderful people show up and they were helping with mics and lights and the cameras and everything like that, but not a large crew. I'm still the cameraman, cinematographer, director, you know, whatever I do. I pretty much do a lot. In fact, the last day of shooting, I thought about this later. I got there about 8:30 in the morning, left about 5 or 6 that evening. Never once took time to even have a glass of water, eat food. I was on my feet the whole time, never had time to relax. So that's just the way things go. And I had this big epic ending where this girl has this breakdown and she takes all the frustrations of her whole life out on a bunch of zombies. Yelling at her mom to a female zombie, yelling at her dad to a male zombie, seeing a zombie that reminds her of her boyfriend that just cheated on her, and she just starts going to town with a shovel on the zombie, yelling and screaming about her boyfriend. And the girl who starred in it, who I didn't meet till this production, Mariah, did an awesome job. I mean, she did better than I could have possibly imagined, and she got so emotional it sort of made it tough when I was editing it, because she did. So the part about not wearing the fedora today, I'll get into that. The fact of the matter is, part of the plot of this movie is she had this, for lack of a better term, douchebag boyfriend that always wore a fedora. And everybody comments about it. Why does he wear that hat? You go with a guy who wears a hat like that? And she's like mumbling, I don't mind the fedora. You can watch it. It's on YouTube on this channel. And but at the end, she sees a zombie wearing a fedora. And she all of a sudden, all the stuff that she's been trying to push down and act like it's not a big deal comes out. And I'm going to show you that scene right now because it made my day.
You suck, Todd. I was the best thing that ever happened to you, and you freaking cheated on me. You suck, you piece of crap. I hope you burn in hell. And I hate that freaking hat. And don't you get it? Everybody's laughing at you. A fedora does not
So that's why I'm not wearing a fedora now. I might wear it again. It was meant as a joke. I have friends who wear fedoras, and it was purely meant for laughs. You can see what a wonderful job she did. In fact, when she was doing that part where she's shoving the shovel into the ground and stamping on the ground, I was laying on the ground with the camera pointed up, and she was getting so into it that I began to worry. Problems we had. The first weekend went okay. We had some wind problems, and we ended up ADRing a lot of the movie later. Wind problems the first day, but besides that, it went pretty smoothly the whole first weekend, except the scene with the two kids. If you ever see, there's two zombie children that trap her in an alley. We were supposed to do that the first weekend, but because of scheduling and not being able to get who we wanted when we wanted, we had to move that to the next Saturday. Now, the next Saturday, day 3 of our 4-day shoot, we had 3 scenes we wanted to film. The 2 indoor scenes that take place in apartments and the alley scene with the 2 zombie children. What happens? It's pouring rain all day. So we moved the zombie children again till Sunday, and we just filmed the 2 indoor scenes on Saturday. Sunday the rain's done, but we've got like 50-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, here, I'll show you a scene of, this is unedited with the original sound, and you can just see how windy it was.
Is she good, or should she go further back?
No, that's good.
You're good.
Hey, anytime.
You recording?
Yeah. That'll work. Action. Kids.
Use a cup of coffee.
Okay, stop.
I could really use a cup of coffee.
So we got that, and then we rushed to a scene where the big climactic scene. This is a scene where there are supposed to be hundreds of zombies trapping these people, and they're coming at them. And we had about 15 zombies, a lot less than I wanted. But you know, beggars can't be choosers, and we had the zombies that showed up, including this cute little girl here. The zombies that showed up did an awesome job, every single one of them, and I appreciate it so much for them volunteering, because no one's getting paid for this, right? So it went wonderfully. The end was supposed to have more to it. She attacks the 4, the boyfriend zombie, the mother, the father, the girlfriend zombie, that she takes her frustrations out, and then she was supposed to one by one attack other zombies and every frustration in life. I mean, people not using their turn signal, things like that, and they get quicker and faster. It's like, and she's yelling and running to zombie, just killing them left and right. Well, we couldn't do that. We just didn't have any more zombies, and it was getting really late, and we had 2 more scenes to film after this. So I just did the basic 4, and there was 3 zombies we hadn't killed yet that were still there, and I just said, pretend like you're being hit and fall down, and then I added an animated shovel. And then we had to film another scene that we'd forgot to film earlier that day, and the wind was terrible. And then we did a scene in a car where she's talking on the cell phone. And again, I wanted to film scenes of her like actually driving the car and things, but time got away. We couldn't do it. So then I spent the week editing it. And about midweek, I realized that the sound was just horrible. So we actually arranged ADR sessions. ADR is additional dialogue recording, and basically I saved each line of dialogue as a separate video file. We got together with the actors. I would show them the line over and over until they got comfortable, and then they'd say it 2 or 3 times along with themselves, trying to keep the same emotion, and it worked really well. I think in most scenes, if you didn't know we ADR'd it, you wouldn't even notice. And for the record, a lot of Hollywood movies are actually ADR'd, even though you don't know it. When you watch a big Hollywood movie, so much of that dialogue is done in post. That's because of problems on the set. I read almost all of Star Wars, the original Star Wars, was ADR'd because those robots, R2-D2 and 3CPO, made so much noise that they couldn't use any of the dialogue on set, and they had to bring all the actors in and re-record the dialogue. So, we showed the movie, it's on YouTube, check it out. I appreciate you watching my vlog. I'm gonna try to get back into doing this. All my big projects are behind me now, so it should be no problem. Thanks for watching. This is Old Man Kelly. Bye.